What's up everyone, I'm Caesar and today we're gonna be talking about a really creepy subject. Haunted dolls. Did you know that Chucky, the murdering toy, was actually based on a real haunted doll named Robert?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Robert the doll was originally bought in 1904 by an old man in Germany as a present for his grandson, Robert Eugene Otto, who would later become what some would say was an eccentric or a peculiar artist. It is said that Otto treated the doll as if he was a member of his family. He talked to him, he seated him at the table, and he took him everywhere. Eventually though, as Otto was starting to grow up, he started blaming all of his problems, all of his mishaps, all of his tragedies on the doll. Some people think this is what awoke Robert. His parents would sometimes hear Otto having conversations with the doll, and they would assume that the responding voice was just Otto himself doing voices. Hey Robert, how are you? People say that Otto had this very unhealthy relationship with Robert. As Otto grew older, Robert was moved to the attic. And as legend has it, kids would see Otto through the attic window appear and disappear and would avoid the house. And visitors would hear footsteps and giggling coming from the attic. In 1994, he was donated to the East Martello Museum. And this is where it gets weird, because in there Robert the doll gets a lot of letters. Not common regular letters, mind you, but apologies. Well, you'll see a lot of people who visit the museum and visit Robert happen to insult him and mock him and or take pictures of him without his permission, something that he apparently despises. And in some of those cases, so it would seem, later on, these people have suffered from real problems, real serious mishap and tragedies. So they actually write letters to Robert, as apology letters to Robert, begging for his forgiveness. Now, we've all heard about Annabelle. She became famous with The Conjuring originally, and later on with a couple of movies of her own. But what exactly is actually based on real events on these films? Are all doll hauntings like Robert's or like Annabelle's? And most importantly, can they hurt you? All right, let's dive a little deeper then. How does a doll get haunted in the first place? As far as I know, there are 4 ways to get a doll haunted. Number 1, sometimes objects get a soul on their own. There are people who say that if inanimate objects like burlap or cotton or cloth or beads resemble a living creature, they also gain what resembles a soul. Or as another example, take the Tsukumogami. I'm totally butchering the word. It's a Japanese belief that when an object serves 100 years of their purpose, they gain a soul, they gain a spirit, they become self-aware. Number 2, the tulpa way. Tulpas are, it's a whole different beast, and if you want me to talk about these kind of things in depth, let me know in the comments. I guess we can see tulpas as containers of emotion and containers of will and belief. It's said that if you believe strongly enough in something and you concentrate enough in that thing, it will come to life. There are some people that think that Slenderman is a tulpa. We all know the origins of Slenderman. He was created by a guy named Eric Knudsen for a creepypasta forums contest. He was clearly not part of any folklore or magic belief or anything. However, there's people who have claimed to encounter Slenderman, to have seen it, to have photographed Slenderman. And that may be because so many people believe and are afraid of and deposit this huge amount of emotions into the Slenderman concept that it actually became true, that it actually came to life. Robert the doll may have been created this way. Maybe Otto deposited that much belief, that much fierce and blind faith in this doll that it actually came to be. Number 3, magic, curses, hexes, you name it. The earliest evidence we have of the belief in haunted dolls comes from ancient Egypt. There are little wax figurines made in the image of Ramses III that were intended to hurt him. And these little effigies or puppets or dolls are supposedly cursed. Does this sound like voodoo to anyone? And the fourth and most popular method is possession. This is how Annabelle came to life. So the story goes that a demon or an inhuman entity or something horrible possessed the doll of Annabelle, guised as the spirit of a little girl, thus wreaking all the havoc that she did. So what do they do? How does a regular doll haunting look like? Well, not all hauntings are evil. Some dolls have been said to bring feelings of relief and comfort to their owners. I read of an account somewhere of a doll possessed supposedly by a girl that committed suicide. And this doll would give off feelings of sadness and loneliness and despair. But if you comforted her, if you comforted the doll, then its vibe would change, becoming soothing and caring. Some dolls do appear to move by themselves.
Bueno, aquí les presentamos a la muñeca de Bessie que se la regalaron a sus 15 años.
Ay, no manches, mira. Voy a comer solingo.
Sara, ven comer.
Tá bom!
And there are dozens of accounts of people saying that their dolls giggle, cry, make footstep noises, tap on doors, or even scream. That's the stuff of nightmares. In the most extreme cases, like Annabelle, Robert, Mandy, Letta, Edward the teddy bear, and the most famously haunted dolls, let me know in the comments if you want to know more about them. They can change slightly their facial expressions. They can cause feelings of unease and dread to everyone around them, and they can straight up curse those that disrespect them, leading to tragedy. Annabelle herself is said to have killed a man who openly mocked her at the Warrens exhibit a few hours later in a motorcycle accident. Robert, the doll, seems to have driven Otto to madness after years of psychological abuse. So, the question, can a haunted doll harm you? Well, unfortunately, it would seem that the answer is yes. Which leads me to, what do you do if you happen to own a haunted doll or you happen to have contact with a haunted doll? Well, for starters, don't mock, insult, or disrespect it. But that's common sense, actually. Don't mock, insult, or disrespect anyone, let alone a supernatural being. If at all possible, try to care for the doll. Try some sympathy. All that mischief and the crying and the dread and feelings of unease could just be tantrums, result of it being really miserable, of some serious real pain. A little understanding goes a long way. But if this doll is clearly evil, it gives sense of impending doom to everyone around it. It makes you fear for yourself or a loved one, or it's interfering in your everyday life in any way, get rid of it. Even though some powerful dolls have been known to cause long-distance damage, it eventually fades away. So just put some good old distance between you two and you should be fine. And if everything else fails, good luck. Have you ever had anything to do with a haunted doll? Please do let us know in the comments. If you liked it, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any videos. I'm Caesar, and I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you very much, and bye!